Hello and welcome. I'm Drew Hill. I'm a trainer with the East Tennessee Women's Lacrosse Officials Association. Today is March 2nd, 2 weeks into our lacrosse season here in East Tennessee. This is my first call review presentation. I'll be doing this weekly during the season, just reviewing plays that I was involved with administering in games earlier in the season or during that week. This past Monday had an interesting scenario where we had to administer an alternating possession in the fan, which is in the critical scoring area above the goal line extended. I managed not to set this up properly, still holding on to, some tendencies in administering for a foul instead of a toss, since we've switched from the toss mechanic to an alternate possession procedure. So hopefully you guys can look at this. I'll speak to how I set it up wrong, and I'll show you how it should be set up properly. So the scenario that I ran into, I'll give you the conditions existing at the time of the play. We were late in the game with less than 30 seconds to go. Blue had possession of the ball and the alternate possession arrow. They were down by 5 against the red team, and the action starts with Blue gaining control of the ball and entering the arc, looking to shoot. Red defender moved into the free space in order to stop the advance to goal, and I was in trail. When the defender moved into the free space, I whistled the play and to call the obstruction of free space to goal. The shooter, however, continued to shoot and proceeded to shoot the ball into the red player, hitting her in the eye cage and face area. Followed that with a second whistle for the dangerous propelling and signaled timeout so we could address the injured player and issue the yellow card. So these are offsetting fouls. I gave the signal as an offsetting foul, and then proceeded to give the signals for the fouls involved in the play. And then administered the yellow card to the blue player for the dangerous propelling and removed the blue player from the field for the remainder of the game, as there was only 22 seconds remaining. Looked to the table. We gave an alternate possession sign and confirmed that blue was to be awarded the ball. Gave the team time to address the injured player and replace her. Following this, I administered this improperly by setting the closest blue player, in this case the one in front of the goalkeeper, to the spot of the foul, and then out to the 8-meter at the closest spot to the foul. And for some reason, I also put the replacement for the injured player, who was in free space, 4 behind, and cleared a lane to the goalkeeper, to the goal circle below. That's not how it's supposed to be done. When we're in the offsetting foul mode in the critical scoring area above the goal line extended, we need to set up similar to how we set up our goal circle fouls, with one exception, and that exception is what side the opponent of the ball handler gets to line up on. So we'll see that the two players, the two opponents closest to the spot of the offsetting foul, are the ones going to be involved in administering the alternate possession. And we'll administer this by placing the ball at the closest 8-meter hash on the goal line extended. And the opponent of the ball handler now will choose which side they want to be on. In this one, it's more advantageous for the defender to be inside between the goal circle and the ball handler, so that's where they'll line up. Then we'll clear the lane above the goal line extended and restart play. So that's how it's supposed to be set up. If this were going the opposite direction and red had had the ball, again, we'll line it up on the goal line extended, and the opponent will have the choice on which side of the ball handler to line up, but they must line up on the goal line extended. Hopefully that helps. You guys can review this a few times and not make the same mistake I did. Here's the reference section in the rule book. I've highlighted, underlined the words for this scenario and put this scenario in the purple box. Thanks, Ann, for pointing out the either side of the ball is a choice for the opponent, the ball handler. So they get to choose which side they can line up on. It just has to be on the goal line extended. Also, see the link below. This is where you can see the administration as depicted in the Girls Lacrosse High School on Youth Rules Interpretation video for 2016. You can go anywhere for past the 5-minute mark, but 5:37 is where they address the scenario that we just walked through. I'll go ahead and go over the next two scenarios that I did not have to deal with, but I'm just doing this for my benefit. Alternating possession procedure outside the critical scoring area, and we'll make up a hypothetical here. We'll have red with the alternate possession and a red defender pursuing a blue ball handler, and at the same time the blue attack cradles in the sphere to avoid a legal check by a sliding red defender, and the red defender pursuing the ball handler detains or holds the ball handler. So this will be another offsetting foul situation with a foul on red and a foul on blue. This time they're both majors, no cards are involved. And since we're outside the critical scoring area, we'll go ahead and blow the whistle, issue our signal for offsetting fouls. And then we'll give the individual foul signals as well, and a direction associated with where we would award for that foul. In order just to be clear with the spectators and the coaches, they just aren't seeming to. They had questions about the alternate possession and the offsetting foul signal. So if I'm going to give a direction for one foul and then another direction opposite that for the other foul, that seems to cue them in that, hey, we've got an offsetting foul. I'll do that and see how that works, and also requesting feedback from the training community here and my local board on what standard I should employ. So either way, we'll give the signal for the illegal cradle in the sphere and the hold by the red team. Look to the table, confirm who has alternate possession. In this case, it's red. So here, we'll give it to the two opponents closest. So that's the blue with the ball and the red that held. Red will be granted the ball at the spot, and the opponent will move 4 away and closer to her goal, and all others will move 4 away. That's how play will be restarted. Second, actually I guess the third scenario, we'll have blue with the alternate possession arrow, and this will have a simple shot where we can't determine who's closest to the ball, and we will grant an alternate possession to the proper team who has the alternating possession. So here a blue attack shot is high over the goal, goes out of bounds. Red and blue player end up equidistant to the spot where the ball crossed the end line at the whistle. We're not able to determine who was closest. It's a close game in the first period, 1 point separating the two. So we have the players involved in the alternating possession. It's equidistant from the spot of the ball where it went out at the whistle. Here we'll grant the ball. We'll do our alternate possessions signal and grant the ball to the blue team who has the alternate possession arrow. We'll administer this at the closest dot. The opponent of the ball handler now will be 4 away and closer to her goal, similar to how we set it up outside the CSA. We're just at the dot now, and all others will be 4 away from the ball. So that's how we'll set it up before we restart. Again, thanks for all your comments. Andy, Paul, Michelle, Ann, really appreciate the quick feedback on this, allowing me to get this out today. Thanks again.